A couple years back, Apple took Red Digital Cinema to court, trying to battle their patent on internally compressed RAW video at 4K resolution or above. And surprisingly, Apple actually lost. And so why is this important? Well, had Apple won, we may have an iPhone 15 Pro that could shoot Apple ProRes RAW at this point, but we don't. If Apple won, it also could have meant that we would see a lot more cameras that could record internally compressed RAW video, but we don't. Now, there are a couple of cameras that got around this. So Canon has been able to shoot their mirrorless cameras internally compressed RAW for quite a while now, since the R5. But how that works is Canon and Red have an agreement. Now, Nikon also has RAW in their Z8, like I'm recording right now, in their Z9 cameras, and Red actually disputed that and lost, so they were able to keep it, which I'm thankful for. Because RAW is the most flexible format you can record in, especially since it's 12-bit and with most cameras, and you have the ability to really push and pull white balance in post-production. Not to mention, since it's internally compressed, you get a very small file size. Now, some might argue about the fact that Apple ProRes RAW is not a fully RAW format, considering that it's partially debayered inside the camera versus a full RAW format like Cinema DNG RAW. But regardless, they're both really good formats to work with, though you don't see. You saw Cinema DNG fall out because of its really large file size, and it used to be completely uncompressed, and now later on there was a version of Cinema DNG that was losslessly compressed, but that fell out of favor, and you got things like ProRes RAW with Apple and Blackmagic, or BRAW, from the Blackmagic side. I'd say the only downside is, if depending on which video editing application you use, you are going to run into some trouble. Final Cut Pro does not read Blackmagic RAW, and DaVinci Resolve does not read ProRes RAW. So you have to make a decision how you're shooting and which camera to buy, depending on if you do not want to change your application. But I will say, for example, this Nikon N-RAW works really well in DaVinci Resolve with no drivers, and it's not supported at this time, January 2024, with Final Cut Pro. And with the Mac Studio right now, not even the top line M2 Ultra, but the M2 Ultra with 24 CPU cores and 60 GPU cores, it can play full resolution 8K 60 frames per second in DaVinci Resolve in real time, debayering in full quality at 6K with the Pro Display XDR, with almost no stuttering at all, which is pretty amazing, I gotta say. So if you do happen to have the 76 GPU core M2 Ultra Mac Studio, it probably has just that much more power to play in real time 8K 60 with no stuttering at all. And that's not to say it's probably going to be very good when we see the M3 Ultra come out.